laws have to change out here, and they have to change now. Because this crime against me, and against many others, I'm sure, in different ways, is leaving us in a feudal state of mind, with absolute intent to use that feudal state of mind as though that is the crime, but it's not. You're not going to tell me that poisoning up a person so that these cucks can get away with whatever they want to in your life and stage you up in this display of madness while leaving their perpetrators just, you can do whatever you want, pat them on the back, job well done. So I'm just basically going to read my lyrics here because I believe it's a feudal state of mind that they're allowing to be made by creation through these proxy wars. And yeah, just listen up. The Glocks end up talking when the dark parts of life get seemingly to walk scot fucking free. And it's a whole crime scene. They took his life and boxed his whole heart and mind inside of a staged up display of rage, a chalk line, leveling a true G out to leave him zero light. So he picked up that Glock, let a few slip, when there hasn't been anyone to listen to it, where he tried to talk and just got further lost within them neglected ways, so another young soul's bled out in the block. They instead left him to allow them guns to talk, pitch black in a reality that's just got so psycho for them to be playing on pain. And they just felt like they didn't ever have a right to stop. So this was the story of how another kid got pushed clean out of themselves, pressed up against the wall, and nobody heard their cries before they got placed inside between a rock and a hard place. And those bodies get dropped instead of allowing them a place to talk. They trying to speak for peace, but when push comes to shove, they pick up them Glocks, and that tested release gets turned into a wicked and cold display of rage. And so much in the system lies, it denies the truth out here as though there's nothing more to see about that crime, when there is. Too many lives get left destroyed like this. And I'm putting it into a storyline here. He was only 13 when that world turned so cold. Maybe his family or his dad or mom was addicted to drugs and didn't have anyone to talk to. So before, when his dad left, his heart was so broken that another soul got left on that devil's street. Young thug growing up not knowing where he could turn to or fit in inside of a world, so he joined some gang. And they didn't seem to want him. The teachers didn't seem to see what he was dealing with at home. And these streets taught him how to aim, shoot to kill. So when the police turn a blind eye to what a real crime looks like, these bullies in life were just showing him that he had nowhere to turn to and nowhere to go. So they taught him to fold, and friends just set him up, acting like they got love for him, but don't. All playing all of these lies all over his life to leave him in that grime, all isolated and alone. And he had love for his own, but they played with his mind and the affairs they staged. They staged him and left him so far behind. Demons cornered him in this life, poisoned him up, and prayed over his life. And so he when he got home, he prayed, "How do I get away from this, O Lord? I loved my own, but they didn't want, but they don't but they don't with what they're doing to me. So as the pressure got thicker and actions made that much more sick, that pressure was built to leave him in a futile state of mind. And everywhere that he went to seemed staged to make sure he'd feel it all of the same. But he's just a kid, not a killer, just stained in a trauma bond that got played vicariously one to another. So it stained his reality, setting stages to make a huge problem, in hopes that they're creating it so bad for him that their hopes were to create that type of problem where he'd just go and take care of himself, as they'd imagined it'd be enough pain to leave him all leveled out and leave him feeling like he's just gone insane. They wanted to paint it as though he's just going to take his life. They talked about it and made plans to involve his life, leading him without a safety net, a real one. So they took his life, hacked him, and went to work on taking over everything in his life. A total hijack with the motivation to hurt him in the worst imaginable ways as possible. They were motivated by money and the demonic energy, the ways that they could feel to aim to take this whole kid's life away. They boxed up his mind inside of a chalk line, left him no lights, as he picked up that Glock and let a few bullets slip, and now his whole life is over, while they led him into the extremes with the intent of what they did. And later on, that little nigga took his own life after placing his own thought of that next to kin, that next to bin, as well as ending up taking his own life after that abuse. So in other words, it's saying, oh, that's kind of annoying. In other words, it's saying that he took someone's life and then ended up taking his own life. And it was I don't know who, I didn't say whom in the lyrics. It was just the people that were playing this game over him were his kin, meaning his brothers, and his next to kin, someone that's supposed to be his friend. Next it says to pull those dirty tricks in the dark of their already poisoned up bodies and minds, unable to feel any true help, nobody to help them out at all. So they have people tearing their minds so far apart that they were out there begging for help, but instead of getting any, the system instead leaves them all murked out, to then as well use that abuse to murk them out too. And that cycle circles inside of an abuse, and it runs in cycles and cycles and circles around again. Set up like a ritual abuse of an art of warfare. So I'm speaking up for those who never did make it to see that next day. Just got set up on this abuse from the jump until the end of their days, for their souls were aimed at in a total life of abuse made that they'd never get to be born into a real world, to be reborn of that light of Jesus Christ, just forlorn inside of a deplorative and desolate way, set up in stages, and the abuse stayed on repeatedly. So this one's for the true OGs that have been framed to have never gotten away. So I'm speaking them facts for the voices of the voiceless, who are now taken completely away, never having ever a chance. No, not ever again. Their whole lives were taken down full scopes of a whole lifespan of this crime, and actually got erased. Left to be deceased and left for dead, behind a life that's been left behind, never gotten to ever live their own lives. So I'm not glorifying that crime, I'm just rapping about them facts, cause these crimes happen like a total bloodbath of a person's whole life, their whole life worth, their ability to ever have been able to work. And it's so dark that they were never able to take up any arc of their own minds, nor any of their own hearts' purpose. And for some of them, they were poisoned up so badly that they wouldn't have even been able to see themselves so sadly so to know that they were missing anything of themselves at all. So I'm exposing this scene of the crime, because these kids pick up guns where there's literally no clean thing left in this world that truly cares about a thing. The places that you think are clean, no, they're dirty too. So there's literally no one left to turn to, searching for answers and looking for help. So even the adults left in these places too are left all alone and isolated with no one to turn to. They take the law into their own hands as well, because everything's fake out here, and that love that's supposed to be there to protect, their love just isn't found. So we're shining a light through and through the very shadowy of this crime. If they allow these kids to be pushed hard enough, yeah, that kid's gonna break. And they push him into the dark of his own life long enough, some people never come back. So this isn't a functionable society if these stories can't make it to the newsrooms or ever be allowed to a place to offer them any real help of any honorable kind. The truth never gets to break free to get the victim any kind of real life to ever be able to get away. And their souls are bruised out here so badly. The hearts and souls that these systems thoroughly abuse with no end in sight. So as a Heartworks warrior, I'm here to intervene. I'm writing to change the script and leave all that cryptic just ripped up to reverse the wrong. When they take this abuse to even create more of it, the victim, and victimize the victim further, never allowing them to break free. So tell me then, what's the real and actual charitable out here? Where are they? I'm ready to flip the tractor in reverse, because these crimes are treated in reverse of what it's meant for. In reverse of what our systems were put in place that were designed to protect, not to continue to neglect and dissect their lives and continue to back over them in all of the hurt that they were left in the first place, when nothing was done to ever support that victim. So I'm writing for a Heartworks mission, because I'm not okay with people offering me free money to sell my soul, like I've been on Facebook, literally, like people like twice offering to sell my soul to become a part of the Illuminati or whatever. I'm not okay with it. I don't care if it's a fake account. Obviously, I didn't say anything at all to these cucks, but the fact of the matter is that it happens. Then that's the fact. So there's got to be something real out here when the people can, or there's got to be something out here for real that people can truly work for, because I'm speaking facts. Nobody should be ignored for so long, left in abuse, staged up all of their lives to take their licenses away and ability to work, to shake out a whole mission over their lives, to leave them in a well-prepared bloodbath over their own original plans in life. Because that crime, that's just sick, G. Any OGs can see that real warfare, ignoring us within a real state of the art of warfare. That's pretty fucking pathetic when they're turning a little kid into a monster or a murderer by design, who ends up taking life or taking his own life or taking both or more. Well, and that's just facts. You don't see it that way, then I feel bad for you, because, well, I don't feel bad for you not to see the truth. But I just feel bad because the truth isn't seen. So yeah, I guess I do feel bad for those that aren't seeing it as what's happening, because I was left in a state-of-the-art crime to leave me in an unwitting, poisoned up place in my mind. And they were pushing for a reaction, because they wanted me into a reaction. For many, many, many months on end, they wanted me to react to the abuse that I didn't even see until I saw it. Once I saw it, and I saw that I was being poisoned, I quit taking anything from them, and I started to feel better and better and better. For like a month, maybe a month and a half before they, I think, caught on to the fact that I knew. And then I still placated, like, I'm not going to show them that I know that what I know. And so they fucked up. They fucked up thoroughly. They fucked up by having my last partner with me and trying to pay her money, because paying her money didn't mean anything. And paying her money didn't mean that she actually had the heart of these dumb cunts, of these dark cucks that wanted to literally steal up my life and perform an identity theft. She didn't have that heart, and she started showing me the signs of vicariously being him through her own actions. That was meant to not only psychologically create the warfare over me, because obviously she didn't want me around, because she didn't want her kids to find out. But I think if it wasn't for that fact, and that fact alone, and there was no one else that she would have cared about to realize that she had moved in this way over another person's life, then I think that she would have taken my side, or at least tried to help me better than what she did to see the crime. But she did help me see the crime, because she, for herself, was pissed off at Jesse. She was pissed off at Jesse, and she didn't know what to do. She was so back and forth. It was easy to see how split-minded, how they created the duplicity in her too, through the trauma bonds that they were just trying to create through another person to carry out the crimes, to poison me up for dead. So if they wanted to poison me up for dead and they left me leapt up on my floor, then this is a real crime. It's a crime of premeditated murder, G. And I don't know why I can't get the help from the police. And if the police can't help me, well, where's the newsroom? If the newsroom can't help me, where's the identity theft in the play? If they can't help me, where's the IC3? If they can't help me, where the fuck is the FBI? If they can't help me, let me get to all the way to fucking Congress, just as I've been saying in my fucking petitions. I should be able to speak out about this reality being the case, when it literally is staged to put me off. Just any originality, any natural, organic way that I could grow in my own life is to be pushed off while they're wedging in my life, just to dig me away from Christ, dig me away from anything that I could hold on to for myself, and that duplicity that they're splitting me right down the middle to go to work on my life. Poisoning me up by design. All the things that I've already been saying out here. So I'm not going to try and repeat myself, but it's just the facts that if we can't take it there, and they're leaving people in isolation in this way, it's not by accident. It's by a methodical, well thought out, drawn out process to be strategic and tactful. And if they want to make me out to be the crime, even though I haven't performed any crime, and I'm asking for a new name and a social security number, and I want my statement of live birth so that I can be a lender, not a borrower. If I can't be the lender and not and taking away the fact of this maritime bullshit ass law and legal system that's protecting these criminal cucks to get away with not only hacking my worth, staking out, like, I would be living a total different life right now if it wasn't for these absolute fucks. Excuse my French, but I am pissed. I'm pissed enough where I not only think that they should be dealt with, but if they aren't and they get away with the state-of-the-art crime and they take me away in replace of all of the crime that's been placed inside of my life since birth, Oh, there's so many cucks at play here, G. So many. And that suffering that's going on within that state of the art of crime that I'm just rapping about in that one, or what I was writing about in that one, is just bullshit. It shouldn't have to happen that way at all. And I'm literally saying that that's how these crimes happen. I'm saying that after they push a person to the brink, that person does snap. And that person does end up taking the law into their own hands sometimes. And this happens all of the time. You can find articles. You can read articles, can't you? You know how to find these things, right? Just Google what happens when a person's supposed friend cheats on them with their partner. Just look at that. You'll find literal cops that walk into their wives cheating on them and fucking they got the gun right there on their holster. You think that's gonna go over real nice and well for them? I mean, the guy sleeping with the officer's wife or whatever? No, it's not. Not gonna go well at all. But that's what this is literally about. It's about not only the affairs, but proxy warfaring a person's life so that my dad can get away with rape, and these people poisoning me up as kids, psychologically abused. Of course I feel bad for them. I forgive them, for they know not what they do. Literally. And even after knowing what they're doing, I don't think they wanted to legitimately stay there, but they didn't know what to do. It's between a rock and a hard place. Let the guy live, let me live, and I might be able to figure it out, which I would, and I did. Or just covertly get rid of the guy so that we don't have to be seen for who we are. I mean, that's a hard fucking place to be in, being the fact that you were psychologically fucking murdered as children by the dumb cunt that my dad is. But then they want to go inside with this punk ass and have him standing in place of, like, say, my mom being there for a wedding or anything. Like, dude, whatever, man. Just where the fuck has your brains been at, man? Playing this warfare over my life, I see. It's so bloody stupid, dude. This world is just dumb. This world is seriously dumb when it comes to crimes of this magnitude, because this is like one of the heaviest type of crimes that a targeted individual could be faced up with. Besides literally, like, you know, there's a lot of god-awful things happen to way too many people out here. I mean, just the fact that we're questioning these things on the double time is telling me, like, oh, people really are really not so smart, are they? They're allowing literally people just to think like, oh, nothing to see here. Anyway, so I'm putting, it's in my hodgepodge 14. I'm just getting it online right now. It's not much to look at. I didn't put any words over it or anything like that this time, because it was an awful lot of work. It was, I don't know how many songs it was, like 45 songs or something like that. It was an awful lot of songs on this one, and awful lot of writing. And so I mean, with me making that many sessions and that much lyrical value, you'd think that someone would just think for themselves, like, that there would be no way for me, this kid, to actually write that much if there wasn't something more to be seen. And I literally think that people are just, they're brain dead. Their brains are like fluoridated, the barium and whatever they're throwing in the sky and whatever they're throwing all over our plant life, and And then people aren't literally looking into this stuff to begin with if they're not like dealing with the crime. So it doesn't surprise me, because obviously I like movies too. I just can't actually watch the indoctrination anymore. Period. Like Hollywood, anything, or just anything. I literally can't even watch it anymore, because I can see even like parts of like good movies and parts of good shows that are like, what? You mean to tell me that they're legitimately trying to enforce this kind of thought process into people's minds? And then look around. You literally see people like the second something comes out that they're parodying it. Like, worse than the shows are making it be. It's like, dude, you guys don't even think like you're being controlled? Like, this is mind control, mind numbing television. Telling lies to your vision. That's the etymology of it. Legitimately, it's feeding your brains lies. So anyway, the hodgepodge 14, flow go crazy, or whichever. There's like a part like after an hour, it's just like, whoa, dude, whoa, this is good. And I just keep getting better, and then these people are like, oh, he's not a real writer, he needs ChatGPT to write. No, whatever. I guess that's only one person, and he's like a smear campaign artist and a complete piece of shit, because obviously they're hackers, so they have all of my information and everything on me, but I don't know this guy for shit. I've like all seen him in like one time in passing, and that was like total happenstance. And I read into it now, even thinking like, what the fuck? Like I gotta figure out what's going on in my life. This covert warfare is just fucked up, man. And anybody that could even be as dumb of a fucking cuck as that motherfucker is that lives 2 blocks away from me to try and fucking stage my life up for murder is a fucking piece of gutter trash. He's a fucking joke. Known him for 28 fucking years, and you can't even fucking talk to me about your dumb fucking immoral ass crime against me. You are a dumb fuck. So that's what I'm pissed off about. It's legitimately, and it's not just him, it's my brothers too, and my dad, but it's legitimately like, what a bunch of dumb cucks, dude. Literally staging this crime up in my life to take my life away from me, leave me blindsided so you guys can perform an identity theft. You guys are so sick. So fucking sick. It's like that one movie. What's that one movie where she thinks that these people are holding Ollie, and Ollie is like in the bathroom or like somewhere being held against his will by these sick fucks, and they don't. This couple doesn't have one single picture in their place of like any family, anything, no kids, nothing. So she comes back and she's like, she gets her foot in the door and she just busts in there and she's like looking for Ollie, whatever. She finds like a secret room that's just sick pedophile type of room, and she goes into the closet and she's ripping all these costumes down and throwing them around, and she's like, oh my god, just feeling completely icky, like she's just completely feeling icky. And behind it there's like a stack of like these movies with like kids' names on them and shit. She's like pulling them out one after another. Then she finally does get, or after this, she finally does get Ollie, but she turns around because they were like gonna attack her because she was obviously figuring out their crime, So these criminals were gonna attack her, and she like takes her fucking Ruger out like a big piece. And she's like, step back, you sick fucks. Oh, what movie is that? It's such a great movie. Anyway, it doesn't matter. It's just a movie I liked. But it's like it's just that was actually a good movie, and it parodied a lot too. But the fact of the matter is that these things really do happen. These kinds of things really do happen, and it's just super duper sick. So anyway, I really hope that I reach some people's ears out here, especially with my hodgepodge 13 and 14. And I really do like my 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. And I split them up even for people, and I should really go through 13 and 14 and split them up in some kind of fashion, but because it's a lot of work that I put into these. They don't get hardly any views. To what I feel should be. I think I'm being throttled on YouTube, and not just hacked on Facebook left and right. Not just I literally feel like I don't have any piece and portion of my life because of what these sick fucks did to my life. And now that I'm like figuring it out, the state is like trying to starve me out of my fucking life. Like utilizing the crime to like know that they can fuck with me further. I don't know. It's like if they get away with all this bullshit, life is good luck people, good luck. The world will probably start on fire soon, and have fun calling whatever you're able to live life, like living at all, because anything you see out of your eyeballs is completely fake, and there's no living going on. Where? Maybe sure you're able to try and be living in the living of the life or whatever, and who knows? Be a sick fucking individual and get paid by these lobbyist fucks, and you'll probably be all right. But if you believe in Jesus Christ, no, you won't. You won't get very far, I guess. Just the facts of what I'm seeing out here. Anyway, peace out, Noggers.